Hey campers, I wanted to show a new tent that I've been bringing. I brought on this trip with me and kind of give my thoughts on it. I bought this off AliExpress over a month ago. Had a little trouble with the, when I first got the tent, had some fly damage, and I was able to resolve that with the vendor. So I was really happy about that. I thought, you know, an AliExpress tent, I thought I'd be screwed, but I complained to them, you know, on the, through the AliExpress website, and they finally made it right. So I was really, really happy about that. The tent doesn't have a name per se. I asked the vendor, and they couldn't give me a name of the tent. So I guess I'm going to call it my double hoop tent for now. The company is Modkais or Modkais. I couldn't get it. I'm not sure how you'd pronounce that, but it's surprisingly a really good tent. I mean, it's definitely a budget tent, but I would put it in the same quality category as Nature Hike. Not quite a 3FLU tent, not a 3FUL quality tent, but it costs about half as much. But I'd say definitely a equivalent quality to like a Nature Hike tent, which is still pretty good quality. What I like about it for shoulder season, it's got these really high walls inside here. There's only mesh on the sides, and it's actually solid on top as well. So it kind of limits the ventilation, but there's still adequate ventilation. So it keeps some of the heat in for the shoulder season type camping. It's got this really unique design that I really like. It gives a lot of internal space. The tent that I've been using right now, my Meyer, which is 3FUL, their brand for Amazon. It's like a little coffin. I think I call it the Lancer one, but it's really tight. It's really tight inside. But it's got a lot of tie out, so it's really good in the wind. So I'll probably be using that tent if I get like a windy or mountain situation, where the weather's a little more challenging. This tent I think will be fine for more of my traditional more of my traditional shoulder season camping, where, you know, it's really early winter, or it's really late spring, like now when there's still snow on the ground, where you might get rain, you might get snow, and having you might spend a lot of time inside your tent. So having internal space is really nice. It weighs a little bit more than my Meyer tent with all those extra pullouts. But I think it'll be adequately strong for most situations. So I'll decide whether if it's a shorter hike, I might take this tent. The longer hikes, I might take the other tent. But yeah, it's got the pullouts. It's got two vestibules. It's got on both sides, and these vestibules are pretty good size. I mean, I think in a pinch, I could probably cook in one. I could probably keep my gear in one and then cook in one if I had to with my canister stove. I wouldn't dare use the white gas stove in there, but I probably could get away with the canister stove. But I'm really liking this tent. The amount of space in here, the internal space. Let me see if I can get this without. I can make this happen here. But the amount of internal space in here is awesome. I mean, it's got you've got it all the way in the back there. Then you've got, got the other wall, the other door, and with the other vestibule, and then the other side here. So it's the walls are go nice and vertical. So you got a lot of internal space to work from. So anyway, this tent is definitely a tent I'm really happy with. I'll be using it more and more on like my shoulder season camp out. It's too heavy, I think, for 3-season backpacking, and it's probably too heavy for kayak camping trips, right, where I'm doing some portaging. But for 3-season camping, this might be a really good substitute for my existing tent. Because my existing tent, I love it to death, but it's like a freaking coffin. It's really, really tight. And in the shoulder season, if it's like a stormy, not lousy night, where it's like freezing rain, you're going to be in your tent a lot. So having that extra space is really nice. All right. See you guys on the trail. Bye-bye.